Sometimes uncomfortable questions need to be asked, and we never shy away from that. Or tough topics like sexual and domestic violence. So when volunteers of the organisation What Were You Wearing come to us with concerns over where donated dollars are being spent and a toxic culture of bullying, we investigate.
1, 2, 3, 4. We won't take it anymore. No more violence, no more hate. Men's violence has to go.
17 rallies this year right around the country.
We don't even get to walk out of our house and feel safe at the moment.
A chorus of voices, advocates and survivors fighting sexual violence.
No more violence, no more hate. Yes means yes and no means no.
Organisation What Were You Wearing Australia has become one of the loudest voices in the fight to stamp out sexual violence. A worthy cause. It's made inroads in women's safety and put a spotlight on drink spiking. It all happens by an army of volunteers, some of them victim survivors themselves. But now some of them have come to us with claims when you draw back the curtain, all is not as it seems. What Were You Wearing Australia started in 2021. CEO and founder Sarah Williams driving the campaign.
My name's Sarah Williams. I'm the founder and CEO of What Were You Wearing Australia.
There are social media campaigns, exhibitions, fundraisers and petitions. In April this year, What Were You Wearing was thrust into the spotlight when Sarah Williams got into a political he said, she said with the Prime Minister.
I'm not having any attacks towards myself in the organisation.
We did ask to speak, myself and Katie, and we're told that that wasn't possible, and that's fine. I respect the organisers' right to do that.
That's a full-out lie.
To do that.
As What Were You Wearing grew, the accolades followed. CEO Sarah receiving youth awards from the local business club. She gave a TED Talk and was awarded Newcastle Woman of the Year. But now some of her former volunteers are lifting the lid.
I am a survivor of sexual violence and it's a cause I'm very much passionate about and helping.
Esther Holmes joined What Were You Wearing in January 2023 after a social media call out for volunteers.
They were starting up with their drink spike petition when I first got involved, so it was very much focusing on that and getting the signatures.
The organisation wanted mandatory drink spike prevention training for bar staff in New South Wales. The petition needed 20,000 signatures.
When did you first have concerns about What Were You Wearing?
When they told us to start putting in false names and emails for the petition. The deadline for the petition was getting close and we were still 10,000 signatures away from what we needed for it to be addressed in Parliament.
In a message group including volunteers and the CEO, Chief Financial Officer Ethan Fraser replied to a question about doctoring emails for the petition.
Yeah, just make them up, or literally put the fake ones in. As long as they follow the structure of an email, they will work.
So you personally added fake signatures to the petition at the direction of the leaders?
Yes. I can't believe I just admitted that on. But yes. All of the volunteers felt a large amount of pressure to put in these signatures, and it was sort of like a competition who was putting in more signatures each night.
How many false signatures do you think were added to the petition?
A minimum of them would have been 5,000 false ones.
Tiana Jarvis volunteered during the same period.
Sadly, I was manipulated and pressured into forging some of those signatures.
The petition reached 20,181 signatures and was presented to Parliament, which passed the new policy for pubs and clubs.
It's complicated because the idea of the drink spiking campaign and the education being there is a good thing, but it got there illegitimately.
And it's not the only bad behaviour Esther and Tiana claim they saw in the organisation.
There are opportunities that people can be re-traumatised because of what they're experiencing at the hands of What Were You Wearing.
Ex-volunteers have painted a picture of a toxic culture. They claim it went all the way to the top, and if you dared speak out...
She's turning it back on the victims and the volunteers who are victims of her, and then making herself out to be the victim to avoid accountability.
Numerous volunteers have told us they were subjected to non-disclosure agreements and defamation threats after voicing concerns. This volunteer wrote in her resignation email, "What were you wearing was meant to be a safe space. However, I no longer feel this way. My mental health and well-being has been pushed to the ground," and that she needed medical assistance due to the emotional distress and trauma inflicted. In reply, the Chief Operating Officer told her she couldn't volunteer for a similar organisation or business for 2 years, otherwise they may take legal action. When Tiana chose to step back from the group, CEO Sarah sent around this group message saying she was extremely racist and ableist, and that's the real reason she is gone.
It is not who I am, and it's very much slandering my personality and character. It enforced that I made the right decision to move away from the organisation.
But it's the financial transparency of the organisation that some say is most concerning.
There was not much financial transparency at all. We would be told one thing one day, and then 3 days later there would be a different story as to what the money was being used for.
This former volunteer, who we'll call Jane, is too fearful of the group to be identified. She says she constantly asked about where the funds raised were going, but was told it wasn't her business.
There is mass amounts being fundraised and no one knows where that money is actually going.
What Were You Wearing's Instagram page is filled with fundraisers for the group, balls, paint and sip nights, music festivals and merchandise. But where the money goes isn't clear. These screenshots show money from event ticket sales going straight to a bank account in Sarah Williams's name. One volunteer told us she was also reimbursed for rally costs from Sarah's personal bank account. A Current Affair is not suggesting Sarah has misused funds, but there are serious questions due to the lack of financial transparency. In one message, Sarah told a volunteer it's not normal for charities to let people know where every cent goes. And to another, it's genuinely not anyone's business how much money there is and where every cent goes.
How much money do you think What You Were Wearing has raised?
I think at the last count, when we were trying to add it up, it was about $120,000.
The group is not a registered charity and only received the mandatory authority to fundraise from fair trading in May this year, despite actively fundraising for years. So we went to What Were You Wearing CEO Sarah Williams to ask some questions at the publicly available registered business address. Hi Sarah, my name's Pippa. I'm from A Current Affair. We just had some questions about What Were You Wearing? In particular about the financial transparency of the organisation. We've had some complaints that, there's no accounting being done, they're not sure where the donations go, some claim it even goes into your own account. Where's the money? You only got the authority to fundraise a few months ago, but you've been fundraising for a number of years. So where's the money gone, Sarah? What about the petition? You claim to have got 20,000 signatures on that petition regarding drink spiking. Did you ask people to forge signatures and put in false signatures?
Can you guys just let us
No, sir, I don't consent to any of this happening as a victim survivor of sexual violence.
So it's Ethan, isn't it? Because I believe you're in the organisation as well. And people have said that you asked them to put false signatures into the petition. Is that true?
That's not true at all.
Do you have anything to say to the accusations of bullying, where the money has gone for the organisation, or the fraudulent signatures?
I'm an Aboriginal woman who
has nothing to do with this.
I have been attacked by a lot of white women, here yet again one.
But you're not answering the questions, you're deflecting.
An Aboriginal woman I am.
Since approaching CEO Sarah Williams, we've been contacted by more former volunteers who all paint a similar picture of a toxic workplace. When we asked how many ex-aggrieved volunteers there could be, one put the number as high as 70, all at pains to stress it is a wonderful cause, but with some real issues as to how it is being run. Do you have anything you'd like to say to the accusations?
I'm not speaking to a white woman that knows nothing about this.
We all went into this hoping to make a good change in our community. I wished it had turned out the way we all thought it would.
And we gave Sarah the chance to sit down and explain her side. She declined. We also sent her a list of questions which she refused to answer. However, she did take to social media to deny all of the allegations.